having to speak about the care for human life, I am afraid that there is nothing I can do other than kick an open door or beat a dead horse, as they say. Who can be against caring for human life? Who can be proud to be careless of his brothers and sisters? Nobody. So am I condemned to pleonastic mantras saying we have to care for human life if we want to stay human? Because the good is good and the bad is bad, and it is not good to be bad. It is obvious, too obvious indeed. Actually, as soon as we are careful of what care means, we realize that things are not so simple. We may even discover that caring can be scary. To care has three meanings: to pay attention, to protect or provide, and to worry about. Immediately, we detect a little tension between these meanings. We try to be careful. We don't want to be careless, but we don't disdain to be carefree. You know the song, "Don't worry, be happy." And here is the problem. Most of the time, we care not to be careless, no doubt, but to be carefree, to get rid of suffering, to keep the drama away. At this point, we care enough for the words to hear the ambiguity. Now, I won't have to kick an open door. The door is locked, and we must think together to have it open. To put it straight, I can say that our postmodernity rushes in this ambiguity of caring. Modernity was rather ideological, marked by heresies of truth. We held the laws of history and nature. We claimed to apply them through a totalitarian state. Postmodernity is less ideological than pathetic, marked by heresies of love and compassion. Euthanasia is compassion. Abortion is compassion. Being child-free is compassion. Compassion for the planet. The postmodern man spends his time commiserating because he is connected. All the horrors of the world come to his smartphone. All he has to do is touch a button to see them flow. So he tries to touch a button to make them flee. Now we can see the paradox of our times. It is in the name of caring for human life that we destroy human life. We are careful of being carefree. We run for a life of comfort, success, performance. We refuse failure, deficiency, sacrifice. We don't want to see our child suffer and die, so we prevent him from being born. We don't even want to enter into the passions of thought and responsibility, so we rely on algorithms. For, as Ecclesiastes says, with much wisdom comes much sorrow, and the more knowledge, the more grief. So, no more wisdom. What we look forward are compelling, compassionate computers. Compelling, compassionate computers to solve the problem of life. What I'm talking about here was deeply thought out by the great American novelist Walker Percy. This will to no longer exercise one's will, this caring for being carefree, this attempt to avoid the drama of life is what he calls the Thanatos syndrome. What a strange situation. The postmodern care for human life, is under the influence of the antique death god. Walker Percy was a doctor before becoming a writer. He wrote the Thanatos syndrome in 1987. One of the central characters of this novel is a priest, Father Smith, John Smith, a hospital chaplain. But he is now unemployed. The hospital has been transformed into a quality center specialized in euthanasia of all ages. The society around him wants a life that has value. Therefore, one must recognize that some lives are devoid of value and must help the disabled child, the useless old man, to leave this world too painful for them. In a dialogue with the narrator, Dr. Tom Moore, Father Smith asks, "Do you know where tenderness always leads?" "No, where?" "To the gas chamber." "I see. Tenderness is the first disguise of the murderer." As a youth, John Smith traveled to Germany with his father. Hitler had just taken power. He remembers that summer in Tübingen, there was some sort of meeting where many distinguished German and Austrian psychiatrists were invited. The Reich Commission for the Scientific Registration of Hereditary and Constitutional Disorders. Quotation: "There were not Nazis, quite the contrary, had in fact been famous psychiatrists and eugenicists in the old Weimar Republic." This is why Father Smith can make this remarkable remark to Tom Moore: "You are a member of the first generation of doctors in the history of medicine to turn their backs on the oath of Hippocrates and kill millions of old useless people, unborn children, born malformed children, for the good of mankind. And to do so without a single murmur from one of you, not a single letter of protest in the August New England Journal of Medicine. And do you know what you're going to end up doing? You, a graduate of Harvard and a reader of the New York Times and a member of the Ford Foundation's program for the Third World, do you know what is going to happen to you? You're going to end up killing Jews." The conclusion may seem exaggerated. Why go from eliminating malformed children to exterminating Jews? Because, according to Father Smith, the Jews cannot be subsumed. Since they were the original chosen people of God, a tribe of people who are still here, they are the sign of God's presence which cannot be evacuated. The Jewish presence is a mystery of history, something that cannot be calculated, according to Walker Percy, cannot be integrated into the efficiency machine, exactly like the useless old man and the disabled child. This mystery refers to the very mystery of life. Because life is not a problem to solve, but a mystery to see. To care for human life is not to spare, but to dare human life. to hope against all hope, to believe in a providence, not only in a program, to risk an adventure and not to rest in the bed of thornless artificial roses. The focus on fitness, the obsession with well-being, prevent us from being alive. I remember the lyrics of Stephen Sondheim's beautiful song, Being Alive. Someone to hold you too close, someone to hurt you too deep, someone to sit in your chair and ruin your sleep and make you aware of being alive. To be alive is to be disturbed by the other with unforeseen drama and unexpected joy. Being alive is about giving life and giving our life, because down here, the Via Lucis is always a Via Crucis. What do we see in Europe today? Falling fertility rates and rising suicide rates among young people. Why this? Because it's the end of progressivism and political utopias. Because the only thing we propose to young people is to protect their lives, when what they're really looking for is something or someone to give their life to. By the way, what is the meaning of danger and death? Is it only the possibility of loss or the possibility of giving? It could be that we are made for giving, and as soon as we refuse to give, all that's left is to lose. Today, the Church celebrates the Immaculate Conception. Yet, it's obvious that today, caring people would have advised Mary to have an abortion. Your child is going to die at 33 in excruciating pain. And what's more, he won't be working in a digital startup, he'll just be a carpenter. Today, caring people would have advised Moses' mother to have an abortion. The world is too hard. We live under Pharaoh's power, and little boys are thrown into the river. So what? You don't have to be a Christian to see the link between true care and the cross. Let's kick the locked door. Caring for human life is caring for daring life as an offering. Thank you.